Fly chick coming through. Nice to meet you. Glad you came too. Like you stand when you know you got moves. You spit game and you know you spit.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Fast Lane Collective F1 Academy edition. My name is Daniela and today I'm joined by Yasmin. Yasmin, how are you?
I am great. Yeah, it's been a wee minute since we did an F1 Academy episode here. And yeah, first race of the season for F1 Academy. Very excited to kind of delve into the two races we had. How are you, Daniela?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited to delve into the most recent races. I can't believe that the season has finally got underway. I feel like I was waiting a long time for it, so I'm very glad that we are back, raring to go. Great first two races to start off the season. A lot of drama and a lot of excitement, and I'm very excited to kind of get into this with you. So, first of all, first time out on track, and already there was drama. In practice, Leah Block collided with Rafaela Ferreira, a rookie, and it ultimately ended in a bit of disaster for Leah. She pelted herself into the wall, well, in result to Rafaela going into her, and then was out of qualifying. That was it. She couldn't run the car until the race. Yaz, how do you think Leah was feeling? Like, what was your kind of reaction to this? Like, did you think, oh God, like, is this the end for Leah's first opening races of the season?
Oh, my heart kind of broke for her because, again, it's not like a Formula One season where these drivers have race after race after race and, you know, like we go all around the world with multiple races. They only have a limited amount of races and a limited amount of laps to kind of get their talent out there and show what they've got. So my heart really broke for her because I was like, oh, so, you know, what if they can't get the car fixed in time and there's an issue with the car and, you know, she can't perform to the best of her ability. So I was really feeling down for Leah. And I'm sure she was as well. I mean, the frustration to be kind of like taken out when it's not your fault is annoying. And, you know, it happens. This is kind of what a feeder series is for. It's for those mistakes to happen and for incidents to happen. But, I mean, frustrating to watch and even more frustrating probably to be Leah. Daniela, your thoughts?
I feel the same. My heart does break for Leah, and I was like, oh, no, she's going to start at the back of the grid. This is not how she wanted her season to go. Last year was definitely a lot of learning for Leah. It was her first time properly in single-seaters. There was a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and she came in and I think actually exceeded a lot of expectations with that. But I know that deep down she wanted this season to be her season. And I don't know how she must have felt going into it. First time out of on track, start the season, and immediately you're in a massive accident that then results in you not being able to drive your car in qualifying. She did, during qualifying, like give a wave to the camera and smiled and looked like, she actually looked quite happy, like not like a fake smile, but like genuinely like, guys, everything's fine. It's going to be okay. Which made me feel a lot better. I was like, okay, if Leah is happy and is calm, then I'm going to be happy and calm. Because I was really nervous that, you know, like these girls are quite young. They might like fly off the handle a little bit. And I was a bit worried how it would be perceived. But Leah seemed to handle it quite well, which I was very impressed by. But I can imagine that, you know, that must be extremely disheartening going into your first race and you don't even get to go out in qualifying and then have to start right from the back of the grid.
I mean, there must be a lot of pressure as well for, like, it's the first race of the season. I feel like all the drivers want to really put on the best performance they can to kind of set the pace and get those points for the start of the season. So even though she was still able to race and she did quite well, to not be able to qualify and to even like get back in the swing of getting used to how qualifying runs and getting the car ready for that and in the mind space for that, it was a real disappointment.
Absolutely. And speaking of pressure, like all of these girls, or nearly all of them, are supported by the F1 teams. So when you have the likes of those big names, and even those who aren't sponsored by F1 teams have big sponsors such as Charlotte Tilbury, you're gonna like feel the pressure and you're gonna want to perform as best as you possibly can. You're gonna want to do that anyway, but when you know that there are big eyes watching you, you're gonna want to do your absolute best. And Leah is supported by Williams. She's had a lot of support from her other effectively teammates at Williams. Jamie Chadwick has been a massive supporter for Leah and has kind of really helped her progress over the last year, giving her a lot of advice and support. And when you have people like that looking at you, you're going to want to make sure that you do well. And that's not going to be how she wanted to start. It kind of started off on the wrong foot. But going into the first race, I think Leah kind of gave all that she could in that race. She had a little bit of contact. There was 3 safety cars. I think that really started off the season with a bang. Yaz, what were your kind of reactions by the time the 3rd safety car came out?
I mean, we're only racing for like 13 laps, and it's just like this race felt like a full like 50 laps because we had to keep the safety car was out, and then I didn't know if we were going to actually just completely stop the race at some points. Definitely kept me on my toes. Quite entertaining. Which is, I know we want to see the entertainment of them overtaking, which there was plenty of overtakes and very close contact these 2 races. But I love a couple safety cars on track. You know, sue me. But yeah, like these girls put on a show and they all raced really, really hard, and some a bit too hard, which is what ended up with those close contact moments that ended up in spins and safety cars. But it was entertaining for sure.
Oh, definitely. They know how to put on a good show. And as you said, some of them kind of push it a little bit too hard. But I think the point of these feeder series is to learn what the limits are. Some of these girls, this is their like first times in single seaters, and they don't know how well these cars are going to run. They don't know what the limits are. So it's a great chance for them to kind of experiment. And as we say, it's not like other sports where you can go out and practice. Like the only time that they have to practice away from a simulator is during a race weekend, which is when they have to prove themselves. So I can't imagine how it must be to feel that pressure of you've only kind of got this one opportunity every race week to kind of show what you're capable of. The rest of the time you're in a simulator, but no one gets to see those results. So as soon as you're out on track, that's when it really matters. But heading into that first race, it was, as we discussed last week, it was going to be a reverse grid, which I think has made it very exciting. I think we got to see some names up there that we wouldn't have maybe necessarily seen otherwise. I think putting it as a reverse grid was really beneficial to kind of showcasing what these girls can do. Yaz, what were your thoughts on reverse grids being back? I know that you were quite excited for this format returning. How was it for you?
Yeah, the hype was real for me. I was really looking forward to this because I never really properly, like I know we have it in other series, but I just kind of like forgot about the excitement of a reverse grid, and I love it. Like you said, it brings those who usually aren't at the top of the grid at the top, and we get to see what they're able to do. I just like the shake up as well. It's like people complaining about a sprint race. I'm like, it's extra racing, more drama. I'm there. And that's what the reverse grid was for me. And I just love it. And, you know, I was really thinking, oh, what if it doesn't really work out or we don't get the results we were expecting? But I think we definitely did. Some amazing racing again. And some chaos as well. Daniela, do you like the reverse grid, or do you think we should kind of step away from it?
I love reverse grids, and I think that this weekend really kind of confirmed that for me. You got to see the chaos that comes with it. Nina Gaveman was on pole for this reverse grid, and she handled the race beautifully. But ultimately, it wasn't meant to be. After the third safety car, that she had a technical issue, and you just could see her just slowing down. You're like, no, you were in control of that race. You had to go through 3 restarts 3 safety cars, and you just at the final point you lose it all. And it wasn't her fault, it was a technical issue, but she really proved that, you know, she is a strong contender this season. And I definitely think we'll see more appearances from her, like running in the top, at least top 5, especially with the reverse grids playing into it. She's had quite a successful career up until this point. She raced in British F4 last year, and again, like, she's just proving herself. And I was very excited to see her on pole, like see her really take control of that lead. And I was quite disappointed for her when it all kind of went away. But yes, we then saw Alicia Palmowski just kind of come out and really show everything that she had. She was really consistent and ultimately went on to go and win that first race. This is her first full season in F1 Academy. And I know that you mentioned in the last episode that she was the one that you were kind of looking out for. Did she meet your expectations?
Definitely. I mean, she's kind of set the tone for her 2025 season. I mean, her resilience and like how strategic she is with her driving, it's so promising. Not to take anything away from Nina, because I mean, Nina had an excellent drive, and it's just such a shame that, like, literally the last lap and that technical thing, just watching her like fall back was so painful to watch. But you know, this isn't to take anything away from Alicia as well, because she was very close to Nina throughout most of the race as well. I mean, Alicia, I just know how much of a struggle she's had within her career trying to get the likes of funding and keeping her career alight. And to see her on the top step of that podium, and even her getting out of the car and just being like, yes, it must be such a kind of a weight off your shoulders to be like, all that struggle, all that sacrifice, all that worry is kind of worth it, because I've just proved myself in front of a huge crowd. Yeah, I am just so pleased for her, and I'm pleased for all these girls that really just kind of put it all out there, and they try to get the best result. So it's been a good race weekend for these girls.
It also must be quite special to win the first race of the season. Even though it was reverse grids, they don't get as many points. It still is a very special moment, and I think that Alicia really proved what she's capable of. I knew this going into it. I'd seen her race before, and I knew that she would be a strong contender, but I was not expecting her to win her kind of first full race, despite like not including like last year's. But yeah, I was so impressed with what she achieved this weekend. I think she finished 5th in the second race. So definitely was showing, like, you know, she is very strong. But we kind of had a lot of like ups and downs throughout that race. It was quite hectic, a lot going on. But we had a wild card entry. And I think that's one aspect of F1 Academy that I love so much, is that at every venue, last year it was selected, but this year at every venue we're going to have a wildcard entry that gets like nominated and gets to race for that weekend. Yaz, what was your thoughts on the wildcard entry?
Oh, I by the way, wildcard entries, I love it so much. It's such a smart way of getting more talent onto that kind of podium of F1 Academy and showing off their talent. I mean, that's kind of how you get discovered. Like, a lot of females are now going to get discovered, I think. But it could also bring a lot of pressure to kind of perform again on that. You've got this one chance, really. Well, 2 chances, because there's 2 races. But you really only have this kind of weekend to prove your ability. And my heart breaks for our wildcard entry. Her name is Shi Wei. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's a Chinese name, so I do apologise. But on the first race on lap 2, she kind of had this huge spin off track, and just where she spun, she got stuck, kind of beached herself on the curb, and she just wasn't able to get off the curve, and it was so disappointing to see. And I'm sure she was absolutely heartbroken. I mean, you can see her trying to get the car to go forward to get over the ramp, but unfortunately it just wasn't her weekend, and it's just such a shame, as I would have loved to see more from her.
Absolutely. I feel like it's even harder for wildcard entry because you do only have that one chance. It's not like you've got the rest of the season. I do love the wildcard entry, but that is kind of the only downfall, is you do only have one opportunity to prove yourself. But it does make it quite exciting. And as you said, it's a great way to get more women into this sport and have your one moment to kind of showcase a female driver. And I think it's a really great and unique initiative that Susie Wolf has kind of brought on. So I'm excited to see what the lineup will look like with the rest of the wildcard entries for the rest of the season. But moving on to the second race, we had Maya Wug on pole. She did a great job in qualifying. Started on pole, but couldn't keep hold going into that first corner. Dorian Pan was in second and just immediately got off the racing line. Execution was out of this world and just effortlessly overtook Maya into that first corner. And I just sat here and I was like, Dorian is so good. And I forget it, and then I see her and I'm like, she just makes it look so easy. And it's not, but she just makes it look so perfect and easy. And I massively look up to her for that. Massively respect her. Yaz, how were you feeling going into this race? Did you think that Dorian was going to be able to take Maya on so easily, or did you kind of expect it to happen later on in the race, or did you think that Maya was going to hold on to it for the whole race?
I know Maya and Dorian are they're so they just zone in, the pair of them. They just I knew this was going to be a tough battle, but oh my god, Dorian, I mean, she just I don't even know how to describe it, the way she went round Maya, and there was a moment where she was trying to, you could see it in kind of the one of the POV shots where they're trying readjust the car, because she's starting to lose a bit of control, but she controls it so well, and it's so impressive. So Pan definitely deserved to win this race. I mean, just so strong off the bat. But Maya as well, I mean, she really tried to keep up, and Maya herself is an incredible driver in that Ferrari. It was I was in awe watching it, and I did expect more of a battle between them two. So I think that's what caught me off guard the most. I was like, whoa, this is really early on. I expected last couple laps them two, down the main straight trying to catch each other, but no, I was caught by surprise.
I agree. I thought that Maya was going to kind of catch up to Dorian, and they were kind of going to continue to pass it out throughout the rest of the race. But Dorian was just in so much control that ultimately didn't happen. But I would just want to quickly mention Leah again, because she started from the back of the grid and went on to finish 9th. Guys, I'm was mind blown. I was like, there's only how many laps? 13? In that amount of time, and she had started from the back of the grid. Very impressive, Leah, this weekend. Were you feeling the same?
Oh, 100%. I think she was probably fired up from the whole not being able to qualify. So she was like, I am putting my foot down and getting the best result I can. And she totally did. I mean, it was just so good to see. She really just wowed me in that race. And there were so many moments like that with a lot of the drivers where I was like, whoa, I'm impressed. And that's what I love about it, because if I'm impressed as a viewer, I can't imagine what the likes of other teams are going, oh, that was quite impressive. I'm going to keep watching and maybe hire them at one point. So that's what I feel every time I get, I'm just so proud of these girls when they do these impressive, things in their career on track. I'm like, hell yeah. Because I know if I see it, somebody else who knows a lot more technical skills stuff knows how impressive that is.
Definitely. And speaking of impressive, Yaz, I wanted to ask you who kind of was your driver of the weekend?
Oh, that is a hard one. I'm gonna go with Chloe Chambers. She just had like so many strong fights. I feel like I just kept seeing her on the grid, like doing these incredible overtakes or getting so close to overtaking somebody, and I just think she really put up a consistent fight throughout both of the races, and that impressed me as well. Like just the ability to kind of avoid all the chaos that was happening in these short 12, 13 laps in both races, keep it all together and almost get the second.
Yeah, she was very consistent with 2 podium finishes, which I think really secures like her future and what she can do. She in the second half of last season really showed how competitive she was, and that made me very excited to see what she could get up to this season. And so far, she has kind of blown it out the park. Maya also was pretty consistent with 2 podiums as well. Ultimately, I think she went away feeling a little bit disappointed with the fact that she didn't come away with a win. But I think that the fact that she even got on the podium in the reverse grid as well showcases the talent that she has at not only kind of being at the front, but also being able to work her way up. I have 2 driver of the weekends. I make the rules here, so I'm allowed to have 2. But first of all was Alicia Palmowski. I was just so impressed, like so unfazed by Nina slowing down, and that just taking that win really hit it off for me, and then finishing in 6th, I believe. I think I said 5th earlier, but I have checked it 6th. And then Alba Larson. I remember when Alba was in karts and she was karting and everyone was saying that she's going to be such a big name. This was a good few years ago now. And here she is in F1 Academy, finishing 7th and 4th. And I was so blown away by her performance this weekend. I thought that no one really spoke much about her. She'd had a little bit of contact here and there, and then came out overall just getting some really decent results on her debut, which I think was very much an eye-opener for the other girls on the grid, but also some of those other teams we've been talking about. I think that we can expect big things from her. Obviously, Dorian, she is going to be such a big contender alongside Maya and possibly Chloe Chambers. I think they're probably going to be our biggest 3 to look out for the rest of the season. But I really like the fact that the reverse grids are back, and that's gonna change things up completely. If you had asked me at the start of the season if I thought Alicia Palmowski was gonna win the first race, I wouldn't have thought so. Mostly because I just know how competitive that those top 3 are, that I kind of thought, I don't know if Alicia's really going to get much look in just because of how competitive they are, not a reflection on her at all. So yeah, definitely an impressive start to the season. I think that we've got a lot to kind of look forward to heading into the next few rounds. Yes, do you have any final thoughts?
I just want to say, like, congrats to these ladies. Like, really, like, there's not really one person where I'm like, you don't deserve to be here or anything like that. Like, they all have put on an incredible performance, no matter what. I know we had incidents here and there and penalties and, you know, again, a lot of safety cars, but we're at the start of the season and there's plenty of time for improvement. And I think they've all put on a cracking couple of races, and I just cannot wait to see where we are at the end of the season, because it's really anyone's game. We have so many kind of tight contenders where, you know, maybe Dorian Palm will win this season, or maybe Alicia could, or maybe Maya, and you never know with that reverse grid, and you never know with the wildcard entries as well. So keep up with us, listen to our podcast, and you will hear everything we've got to say about these ladies and how they're performing this season. Like, I cannot wait.
Yes, I completely agree. And speaking of some really great women, we had some amazing women on the commentary team this weekend. For the practice, we had Izzy Browning, and she is someone who I think is going to transform this industry. I am very lucky that I've met Izzy before, and she is so lovely. I've met her a couple of times now. And she actually kept this from me because I'd only asked her a few days before, like, what her plans were for the rest of the season with her presenting. And she was like, oh, like, I've got some things coming up, but can't really talk about it. And then, like, 2 days later, she was commentating on F1 Academy in the practice session. And I just want to say she did a phenomenal job. And I'm, like, so happy and proud of her. And then we also had Alice Powell alongside Ben Edwards for both races. And it was really interesting to hear Alice's perspective as someone who has driven in an all-female championship before, but has also seen what it's like along, like, in the F1 Academy, like, paddock. She is mentor and manager of Abby Pulling, and as we know, Abby won the season last year and was in it the year before. So she is so used to kind of being in that world, and then getting to kind of hear her thoughts on these girls and how incredible that, like, they are at their jobs and performing to the extent that they have. It was really interesting to hear what Alice had to say on that, and as someone who could relate to them as well, because we can't, Yaz, because we're not drivers. So it's nice to hear from someone who can. But yeah, I think that's all for this episode. So thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to check out our socials at the Fastlane Collective _. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, fly chick coming through. Nice to meet you, glad you came too. Like your style when you know you got moves.